I actually pay myself like I'm an employee. I budget for both my business and my personal funds. I don't just take money and spend it whenever I feel like it, because I think that that's a sure path back, into credit card debt, or into failing, or into needing to take out a loan. And I want you guys to be able to do this without those sort of heavy money burdens. And I don't mean to sound like Dave Ramsey so quickly after lunch, but you do need to be very mindful of your finances, or like your workflow, if you're not careful to stay on top of it, it's going to eat you alive. I need to be mindful of how much money is coming in and how much money is going out, because I have to plan for my taxes. And if we're talking about actual numbers, every time I pay quarterly taxes, that's 4 times a year, I'm spending over $20,000 in taxes. I write a $17,000 check to the IRS every single quarter. And the more money I make, the more money they get from me. And I am not even remotely going to start talking to you about politics or the way that I feel about taxes or our government. We're just going to say it is what it is and move right on. Planning for the future. It's not enough to think, am I profitable right now? Am I making enough money that I can put it away for the future? Do I want to shoot weddings until I eventually die of a heart attack in a pew, before the family formals? I don't. I'd like to travel. I'd like to see the world. I'd like to spend more time with my husband. I would like to actually be able to retire like a normal person does, but nobody's matching the funds I'm putting in my 401k. Nobody's going to give me a pension when I retire. I have to do it myself. I'd like to help my children with their education. I'd like to make sure that they're set up nicely in life, and I would like to be comfortable. So I have to plan for all of these things for now as well as in the future. Okay, so if you take a look along the side, this is how much it costs to be me. And I'd like to bear in mind that I do live in New York. I live in New York City. And to be really specific, I go back and forth between a home in Brooklyn and a home in New Jersey. The reason why I do this, if any of you really want to know, since we're talking very candidly, my ex-husband and my children are in Brooklyn. My husband has the same situation out in New Jersey. We cannot move or merge or anything like that, so we go back and forth, which means 2 separate households, which means 2 businesses in 2 different places. So we have to stay right on top of it. And when I am looking at all of these numbers, even married, even if I were living with my husband full-time all the time and had been for years, I still want to make sure that I can support my family by myself. Not because I don't trust him, not because I'm planning for some inevitable divorce of some kind, but because I would like to know that I can care for my family as the breadwinner. I spend $43,800 a year in rent. That sucks. It sucks a lot. It's New York City. Where you live will determine how much you spend to live where you are. I'm not living in a palace. I don't own my home. I rent. It's a better financial decision for me to be a renter instead of an owner based on my long-term plans living in New York. All down here, you can see what I'm spending on my internet. You can see that I put $24,000 a year away for my retirement. You can see what I'm spending for my business insurance, what I have for my car payments and my car insurance and kid things and all of these things. And I came up to the total of $143,230 needed to come in to get me through the year. Now, I realize that there are probably some things that I have left off of that, just some intangibles, things that arise, emergencies. What if the type of car I drive, if I blow one tire, I have to actually replace all of them, which I wish I'd known that when I bought it. But I need to plan for things like that because I don't want to put that on a credit card. And I don't want to have to go to my savings account and tap the money out of that. I would also, maybe like to take my kids on a vacation during the year. And I'm not talking about anything crazy. I'd like to take them to Disney World. That would be pretty cool. Or, when I'm done here in Seattle, I'd like to stay an extra week while my kids are busy on a road trip and visit some friends and eat some food. And I don't want to put that on credit. I want to be able to pay for that. So I take that $143,000 number and just to stress myself out, I just raise it up to $200,000. So let's say I want to bring in $200,000 after taxes. And now I do want to clarify for those of you who might be joining me for the very first time, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a financial expert. I don't have a degree in finance or business or anything like that, but I do have a very practical head and a pretty decent amount of common sense. And this is what's getting me through so far. So if I want to bring in $200,000, I need to remember that that's post-tax money. That sucks. So I need to factor in the taxes that I'm going to pay throughout the year. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to conservatively estimate that I need to bring in $260,000 a year so that I'm left with $200,000 after taxes. Well, I don't know about you, but when I look at this makes me want to go back to bed and kind of cry for a little while and then watch bad TV, because this is very, very, very intimidating. And what I don't want to happen is I don't want you guys to get into the chat rooms and be like, well, she could probably pay less for her internet, or if she didn't save so much for the future, she wouldn't have to make so much, or, oh, wah, like poor first world problem, you want to go on vacation every single year. But I'm trying to put together an ideal world for me. I'm not saying that I need this much to live, but I want to make $1 million a year, because that's not reasonable. But if you're looking at where you need to start pricing yourself, you need to figure out what you need to get through the year. However your life is structured, you need to lay out those numbers, and you need to really look at them. So yeah, and a lot of people look at this and they're like, well, but yeah, you got married, so don't you want to work a little bit less? Partly because of what our situation is, no. I mean, we still have this dual household thing which is going on, and partly it's personal. Partly I want to show my children that their mother can raise them by herself if she had to. I want my girls and my stepdaughters, when they grow up, to realize if you want a nice pair of shoes, you don't need your husband to buy them for you. You can buy them for yourself. So I'm trying to be a role model to my children more than anything else, to show them that your mom can take care of the whole family by herself.